Are you looking for a podcast about sneezing your fears away?
Then you must be thinking of another podcast.
Oh! It's a big day today.
It's a day.
There's so much day.
We got a lot of day here.
This is like too much day.
We got day for sale. You guys need you need some day? We got spare day laying around.
Kelsey.
Robert.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to this lovely day.
This big, fat, gargantuan day.
But I don't like driving home, and it is so dark already. It's a big day, and I come home to 0 day.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of day to go around these days.
Like, you don't have to go anywhere. You work at home.
It's true. Yeah.
Which is kind of great. But as you're winding down your day, do you not just go like, did I work into midnight?
No, sometimes I'll be making dinner. I'm like, damn, we're eating late today. I'm like, oh, no, it's 4:30.
Yeah. 4:30? My God.
Sometimes you just feel like eating at the early bird hour.
No. You don't.
The early bird gets the worm. And a delicious dinner.
That's true. Oh, so, alright, I ended my day in this darkness. I began my day in this darkness. You want to know what happened early this morning?
What happened?
I woke up to today being November 12th, the day of Disney Plus.
Oh, that's darkness?
Well, it went live at 5 a.m.
God, really?
Yes.
Damn.
I was not awake at 5 a.m., but when I awoke around 7-ish, right? It was still kind of dark. I loaded it on my phone. I loaded it on Taylor's phone while she was asleep. I put it on her PlayStation, my PlayStation, the TV in the the game room.
Calm down.
I got it ready.
You woke up like Cinderella with these birds flitting about your house, just helping you put this Disney Plus on every single technological item you own.
Yeah, and they were having a hard time understanding.
Bonjour.
I was like, no, pack the eggs! What are you doing? They didn't get it. But Taylor wanted to be the one to sign up for it.
So you had to shake her awake?
Well, I was like, she'll do it whenever she gets up. And she went in a little later today, so it was like way late in the day.
Oh no.
But when it happened, and it was glorious.
Have you been able to watch anything on there?
So, I didn't stream anything because I was at work. I have horrible signal. I went to The Simpsons and downloaded, because you can download just like Netflix.
Yeah.
Right? So I downloaded episode 1 of The Simpsons because I knew that would be the first thing that I wanted to watch, and I watched it right at the end of the day.
Beautiful.
It was great. Just how I remember.
Did you have any outages or anything? I saw people on Twitter were like, nothing's working, I can't get Disney Plus to happen.
Well, like, I think that was for the streaming side of it, because I kept getting into it, and I could look around.
Yeah, so, remember how I was like, I'm not going to buy Disney Plus because we already pay for so many streaming services.
Yeah.
So it turns out...
You bought Disney Plus.
We didn't buy Disney Plus, but we bundled ESPN Plus and Hulu Plus and Disney Plus, and we paid less than we were already paying for Hulu and ESPN separately. So we have Disney Plus.
Exactly. But okay, so you already had the ESPN Plus thing.
Yes.
Not for football or basketball, correct?
I mean, Richard uses ESPN Plus for every sport under this god moon.
Because the one that's bundled in Disney Plus, there's no NFL or NBA.
Oh, really?
No, you have ESPN Plus, which is all college, everything college, and every other sport but those two.
Okay, well, that's a weird choice, but there's probably some kind of legal reasons behind it.
Because they are tied to DirecTV right now. They have like their own little deals. So
they have like
this
the golden
package
ticket
they can't.
or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
That makes
so
sense.
Until that goes away, they can't do NFL games.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we watch a lot of college sports too, so...
Okay, cool. Because I've been trying to, pimp out Disney Plus all day long.
Just part of the street team.
And I was like, but you can get ESPN with it. And they were like, can I watch basketball? And I was like, I don't know. But I'll find out. And the answer is no.
Well.
Not unless it's college basketball.
Well, you know what we can watch with Disney Plus?
What can you watch?
The Mandalorian.
I don't really care.
What?
I mean, I'm going to watch it, but, like, I'm not really the biggest Star Wars fan, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta.
And it's probably going to be great. But, like, I'm not like, that is the reason I'm here. I'm here for The Simpsons.
Right.
That's the reason I'm here.
Well, I did watch The Mandalorian just before recording here, so I want to tell you, it's good.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it is great.
It's fantastic. So Jon Favreau, like, wrote and directed it, I guess, and then also produced it, perhaps?
Yes.
And Taika Waititi is also involved somehow.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
I saw his name in the credits, and I was like, I wonder what he did, but I have no idea. But it is pretty darn good overall. They're doing that thing where you release one episode and then wait for a while. I don't know if they're doing like a weekly episode thing or what's happening with it. The first episode was like 45 minutes, so they're not like bite-sized little things. But
yeah,
you know.
So from what I've heard, Disney Plus will be doing the weekly thing. But then I kept seeing these stories of The Mandalorian has a really weird release schedule, so I'm guessing that's not the case for The Mandalorian.
I wonder if it's on the internet. I'm gonna Google this while we're talking about it because I gotta know.
I think it is, because I kept seeing stories about it all day. And while you do that, I got a crack. Crack.
Yeah, let's see. It's hot.
I
need to get some cold seltzer on my bones.
A hibiscus liqueur?
You know what? No. This one is just
I'm burned out on that.
I'm totally not burned out. I bathe in it daily. But I just needed a break. So The Mandalorian releases episodes on a weekly basis, of course, starting today, the 12th. And then the first 2 episodes are going to be released just a few days apart. So they're like front-loading it a little bit.
Okay. Well,
so November 15th, we'll get the next one.
Okay. So that's really not as weird as they make it sound.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to watch The Mandalorian, just to watch it, you know?
Yeah. I was never like a huge fan of the Mandalorian characters in Star Wars. I don't know. I never felt any like empathy towards them, probably because you never see their faces and they never really have any lines. Yeah. They're just kind of like, you know, helmeted assassins.
So question, because I literally don't know. So Mandalorian is like Boba Fett's title?
Okay, so I asked Richard about this because he's like the Star Wars man.
Good. We need expert opinions.
I know. He's an encyclopedia of knowledge.
Okay.
I really hope I'm going to repeat this properly because if I'm not, I'm so sorry for the Star Wars fans out there who actually know their shit. So the Mandalorians are like a race of people, and I'm pretty sure all of them wear like the armor and the helmets and stuff. They lived on a planet called Duxon or something. It's DXUN, which is, you know, Star Wars spellings.
Of course.
So their planet like refused to cooperate with either the Sith or the Empire, and so they were like, you know what, we're just gonna. Did I say Sith or Empire?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, I think that's the same thing.
I think that's the same thing. So they weren't in favor of like the Resistance. They weren't in favor of the Sith. Yeah. They didn't like anybody. They were just true neutral about it. And
so they're the Green Party.
Yeah, and everyone else was like, you know what, fuck you guys, and they nuked their whole planet.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so they're all essentially just kind of like vagrants, and they wander around, and that's why a lot of them are bounty hunters, because they don't have any kind of home or anything, so they just kind of, you know, walk the galaxy, killing people.
I mean, do they walk it or do they jetpack it?
Well, this guy rides a horrible little beast called a blurg.
Ugh,
which I have never seen before. It's basically a head with a tail and then 2 stumpy legs.
So, is it kind of like a Pokemon in that it makes the sound of its name?
Yes.
Is it just blurg?
Yes.
Something gross? Nasty.
It was very gross looking. I love the Star Wars puppets, though. They're so nice. They're so lovely. Every single fucking one of them is fantastic. Works of art.
since we're talking the Star Wars side, of course, one of my first questions for Disney Plus was, what version of Star Wars is on the service, right?
What do you
like,
mean, what
I had
version?
to know. Well, so there's, like, the original. There's the one with, like, a few tweaks they made. And then there's what is on the Blu-rays now that everybody really fucking hates, right?
Yeah.
So I know a scene that determines which version it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, me and Haley played around with it a lot today. And we watched everything we clicked on. So I didn't see any real problems, right?
Okay.
But so I told her to go to Star Wars, and I go, scrub to this part, and I will know if it's the newest one that's gross, right?
You can call yourself not a Star Wars fan.
Well, because I know that much, because I don't like the changes they did to the Blu-ray. I like the changes that are in the, like, 97 release, I think it was.
Yeah.
When it was, like, still on VHS, DVDs were maybe new around that time. Like,
okay.
I like those changes. Like, I like the CG Jabba the Hutt, and then, like, he steps on his tail, and you see him kind of, like, move and stuff. It looks wonky, but I like it, right?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. But then when the Blu-rays came out, and I was like, gotta get the best looking one, I was like, ooh, they changed stuff, and now it's gross. And I really haven't watched them since then.
Okay.
But I go to the scene, I know it's changed, and I go, gross, I don't like it. So then I look it up today. These are changed even more.
Really?
There's new changes to this that aren't even in the Blu-ray one.
Why? Why do they have to just keep, like, tweaking shit? Like,
I
leave it
don't
alone.
fucking know. And apparently they are making it worse.
Why?
So the scene that I read was changed.
We gave Jar Jar Binks an enormous penis. It's huge. It's out.
He's got a bulge, man, and it hinders his walking. He waddles everywhere.
He talks about it constantly.
Me so horny.
Stop. I knew that was coming.
I know. You set it up. I couldn't not do it. So it's one of the most, like, highly talked about scenes in Star Wars that was ever changed.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
It is Han shot first.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Are you ready for what they did to it now?
Let's hear it.
Apparently now what they've done is... Okay. So what they did was they made, like, Han's head move, right? Because, like, he dodged a shot that Greedo shoots after he shoots, right? Or they made Greedo shoot for, I don't know, some stupid shit. Okay. Well, now, in this version, they keep his little head move, but now they shoot at the exact same time, right?
Okay.
They made them shoot at the exact same time, and now there's an additional scene where Greedo is dead, and the camera just zooms in on his dead body, and he utters, like, one final word. And he says, like, McClucky or something. McClucky. And if you've seen Star Wars, you know that everything he says is subtitled, so you know what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
They don't tell you what that word is, so why include that he says a final fucking word, and they don't even tell you what the word is?
Okay, the only possible reason for that is that if they might follow up on it in The Mandalorian.
Oh, like they're trying to build their own little weird mythos with stuff?
Yeah, like they're trying to expand the universe a little bit. I could see them trying to do that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean...
There's also...
That would be cool in a sense, but just don't.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Just don't.
I don't know at what point in the Star Wars history The Mandalorian is supposed to take place, because, like, the timeline is so full, you know? Like, beginning to end, it's just packed full of shit, and stuff happens in between, but I'm trying to place where this is, because certain things that you see in the Mandalorian's ship would lead you to believe one thing, but then, like, there's a twist at the end that I'm not gonna tell you about, and that makes you think another thing. So I don't know.
So now you just don't know.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't fucking know when this is supposed to be. So I don't know.
Really knowing nothing about it, I always took that it was like post episode 6, like post Return of the Jedi. That's just what I always took from it. I was like, okay, we're like, this is some random dude, and we're like thinking that it could possibly be Boba Fett, but then they kind of said it's not him way like years ago talking about the show. So I'm like, all right, well, it's just another dude. Like, fine. But I always took that it was post the old movies.
That's what I was thinking too. I don't know.
But now do you think it could be like pre-Boba Fett?
I just don't know, man. I just don't know.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it at that because I am going to watch that one tonight.
Listeners, do you know
just to watch
when the hell this takes place in the Star Wars universe?
I'm pretty sure there are people that know everything about this.
I know. There's crazy good fans out there that are going to go research stuff and they're going to be like, okay,
Star Wars fans are rabid.
Day.
Yeah.
I know. My husband is one of them and I love him for it.
So, I believe I've said it before, but I truly thought that I loved Star Wars. Like, I truly thought I loved it.
Yeah.
And then I met Sean.
Oh my god.
And I learned that I like Star Wars quite a bit, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I've never met a Star Wars fan to that level, and I've met several since that are still, I'm like, damn, I just like it, apparently. I apparently do not love this.
There's a lot to learn in the universe.
Yeah. But I don't want to read the books. I don't want to read the comics. Like, I'm good with the movies, and I'm just good there, you know?
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's a good level of fandom right there.
But now that the stuff... Because I've always wanted to see the Clone Wars TV show and stuff. And since it's on there, I'm gonna watch all those too.
I don't think I ever watched that. We'll have to see.
I've heard it's great. But so, you've already watched something. Was The Mandalorian your pick for first thing I'm gonna watch on this app?
Yes.
Okay. Mine was day one, it had to be The Simpsons.
Yeah, because that's your thing.
It is I was watching it like my whole life is coming back to me. I truly love that show more than I can express.
Doesn't it like... okay. I'm trying not to be...
Go ahead. No.
Very...
Say whatever, because you cannot hurt me with Simpson stuff. I love it too much.
I'm just thinking, like, doesn't it make you a little angry that Disney owns so much and they're just like... They're milking the nostalgia out of our generation. They're just like, you guys remember this from when you were 5? We have it. It's behind a paywall. Along with all these other movies from your childhood that you used to love. Don't you want to come see them? Look at all this fresh new content. Ooh, come pay us.
No.
I just, as much as I shit on Disney, I love Disney and I am not immune to their propaganda. Like, I'm going to be in the mouse's pocket until I die.
Yeah.
It just frustrates me that they can streaming services, man.
Here is why that's a no for me.
Okay.
No, because I own all those movies already. I already bought them.
I'm already mad at how many movies you have.
I'm not coming here to see these movies at all, right?
What are you coming here for?
I'm coming here for The Simpsons. That's the single reason I bought this app.
Okay.
Because
so this is your Simpsons streaming service.
Yeah.
The stream.
Because I bought every season of that show when they came out, and they determined that it wasn't worth the money to put it out on Blu-rays and DVDs, so they stopped. So there's a point that you can't buy them.
You were the only consumer who bought them, Robert.
Print them for me. It's fine. I'll pay for my copy.
I fully understand and support everyone going to a digital-only service. It just frustrates me that it's all parceled out in these packages that I had to pay for individually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Netflix was that until everybody went, oh, I guess we can just do it on our own.
Until big capitalism came and ruined it all.
Pretty much, because everyone that I talk to is like, I really want Disney Plus, but I don't want to buy it because by the time I pay for all the apps I want, I'm paying cable again.
Yeah, exactly.
And I 100% agree. And that's why I'm glad I don't really like TV as much, because I'm not chasing that next show. I'm not looking for because, there's always like that show that people want to watch.
Yeah.
But it's like each station has that show that you want to watch.
Right.
And that's why you have to buy the different apps. Yeah.
Game of Thrones on HBO.
So I'm glad that I don't really care for the for like TV in that way, because TV is always on so many different channels.
Yeah.
Cable was the only way to get them all. And it was a fucking arm and a leg, which is why I never paid for it.
Yeah.
And Netflix, I mean, really, I only had Netflix because I had it when Blockbuster was going away, and I still wanted to rent movies. So I did it to rent the DVDs, and then it became stream only.
Yeah, I remember, like, back in the day when we had Netflix, it used to be, I mean, we still have it, but when we first got Netflix, it was like we were buying it for the rental service because the Blockbuster that I lived next door to closed down, and we were like, how are we going to get movies?
Yeah, because, I mean, I didn't really start watching any of the Netflix TV shows until, like, this year, and Stranger Things is the only one that I watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a good little selection of shows in there. It's crazy how many different things they pump out. And you don't realize it until you're going through a category and you're like, I love all these shows, but they don't have any relation. And you're like, oh, wait. Yes, they do. They're all made by Netflix.
It's because they saw everyone was going to make their own apps, so they're like, we need to have our own supply. Right now, our supply is everybody else.
Exactly.
So if we create our own early, people have a reason to stick around. And really, I don't use Netflix as much as I did, because now everything is going to their own apps, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Hulu is probably the one that I watch the least because it's built upon current TV shows.
Right.
You know?
Which I love.
I just don't watch it. Like, Taylor loves it because she watches This Is Us.
Uh-huh.
Right? I don't watch that. I don't watch really anything else. But Netflix was like, hey, remember... See, I need the shows that I used to like. And that's why I guess I'm all about the Disney Plus, because I want the show that I like. Because all the stuff that I am here for is old-ass shit. Yeah. That I can't find anywhere else. Like, the 90s Spider-Man is on there, and I can't buy a DVD of that.
That's ridiculous.
How else am I going to watch it?
It is nice to have an aggregation feature that just, you know, it grabs all that shit that we want to see and it puts it somewhere. So I appreciate it for that, and I'm glad that it's a thing. I'm just bitter. I'm just a bitter old crone.
Oh my god. So, I'm all about the Disney Plus. I agree that this service thing is going to become a problem.
Yeah, I think we're reaching the bubble.
But it's not there yet, so I'm still a little happy.
Okay. Can we talk about a new TV show?
Yeah.
I watched Primal.
So, you texted me that you had a lot to say.
Yeah.
And I took that as good, and then as the day went on, I was like, those words are vague. That can be bad. And I'm real scared to know what you have to say now, because if you think it's bad, my heart will break.
Robert.
Yeah?
You told me that it... Okay, so the way you described this to me, it was a cartoon about a caveman and a dinosaur.
Yes.
And they're like hanging out together, buddy, having a good time. Everything is so happy and fruity.
I did not say that.
And beautiful.
No.
That's just the picture I built in my mind. And then I watched this thing, and it's so heartbreakingly beautiful and fantastic and wonderful, and I loved every second of it, but also I felt my soul leave my body a couple of times.
Because it is Primal?
I wasn't ready for it.
Like,
I thought it was a children's show. You said it was airing on Cartoon Network.
I said Adult Swim, madam.
You said Cartoon Network.
Which is Adult Swim.
Yeah, well, Adult Swim is on Cartoon Network, but...
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
All right, we're going to have to go back to the tapes, because I swear I said Adult Swim.
So...
But...
For starters.
Okay, so you were expecting sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
And then you got families being murdered.
Oh my god. Okay, so full spoiler alert for Primal. We're going to talk about the entire series right now, episode 1 through 5.
You watched the whole thing?
I watched the whole damn thing, Robert.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so first of all, the art style. Fucking beautiful.
Okay.
It's so pretty.
Hand drawn.
You can tell too, like every single line in that show. He
sits there and draws this by hand. That's why it's taken so long for it to come out.
It's just so lovely. Like everything about it, you can tell he's putting emotion into every single line.
It's
and, like,
so gorgeous.
Just like the charcoaly, smoky style the whole thing has. It looks like it's sunset all the time. I'm just like, my heart is full looking at it. And then
yeah,
and then all the all the emotions. I have to like sort myself out.
So when I watched it the first time, I kind of cried at the end of episode 1.
Yeah.
And then I showed it to Taylor, and I cried twice.
Yeah. So okay. So it starts like the caveman dude Spear. He's out like fishing. And that was my first clue. Maybe this isn't a children's show. Is like it's a pretty violent depiction of fishing. He's just like stabbing these fish with his spear, and this
and
bright
then pulling
red
them
blood
out of the
like,
water as they gasp for air.
Yes, and I was like, okay, that's a little violent.
Yeah, because
little did I know.
Taylor goes, "That's mean," and I'm like, "He's fishing. It is caveman times. I'm sorry."
It's caveman time. So he's fishing, and then he's like heading home, like la di da, and then he hears like this horrible primal scream, and just drops his fish, and he fucking takes off, and he arrives back at his home just in time to find his wife and 2 children brutally eaten, torn apart by raptors. And he sees this happen. Like, he sees the fear in his child's eyes as it is snapped into a dinosaur's mouth. And I was like, what the fuck am I watching? And then he just, like, wanders off into the forest and is depressed for a long time, climbs up a cliff, and looks over the edge. And I'm like, this dude is going to fucking kill himself in the opening 6 minutes of this TV show, and I don't know where it's going to go from here. But then the sun rises, he sees his family in the sun, and I started crying, and I was like, you should live on for them.
Please do it.
Climbs down, and he goes about living his life depressedly.
Looking for revenge.
And then he happens along this lovely little single mama dinosaur, making her world work.
2 beautiful babies.
2 beautiful babies. She's like,
oh my God.
She's doing the strong single mother thing. She is feeding these children. She is happy. And then the same raptors, the same ones, come out of the forest. And they, I don't even want to say it, but they like, they eat her little babies.
So while he's there, they do the exact same thing to this T-Rex mama and eat her children in front of her.
So you think that they've saved the day because there's like a big fight and like they kill the 2 raptors, and I'm like, yes, the raptors are gone. And then like he's bonding with the little babies, and they're like tugging on his hair and stuff.
When
and I
played it for Taylor, that's the scene I cried at.
Yeah.
Knowing what was gonna happen, I cried because I knew what was coming.
You think for a minute, like, oh, this man has found happiness. He's going to help this mama dinosaur raise her babies, and he's going to be
surrogate caveman dad.
Yes, that's what I wanted. That's what I was like, okay, now we're going to get into the buddy cop stuff here. Surrogate caveman dad time. But no, the babies are eaten immediately, and so then they're both...
now him and the T-Rex have a bond, man.
They do.
Because the exact same thing happens, and then So then they brutally murder these things that ate both their families, which, dude. So Mama T-Rex bites a dude on the top jaw and rips it off.
Right off.
And it's one of my favorite things I've ever seen because she's standing there. She's looking down with the blood dripping from her mouth with this just angry glare like, fuck you, dude. It's so awesome. I love it.
It was very good. I have written in my notes here, Fang eats a face, all caps.
Yeah, dude. It's the best.
Yeah, so episode 1 definitely fucking tops. I loved it.
And so, hang on. Then it ends on the coolest image I've ever seen in my life. So the T-Rex mom, her name is Fang. Fang follows him after her kids are eaten and there's nothing left, and they kind of form a bond, and the last shot of episode 1 is her doing a roar as he's like thrusting his spear into the air as like a wave crashes behind him.
It's beautiful.
It's fucking dope.
It's emotional. I want it like tattooed on my body.
It's okay. So people ask me why I don't get tattoos. It's because I've never thought of something that I have loved that much, and I've honestly thought of a primal tattoo.
Really?
I really have, because I love Fang and Spear that much from 5 episodes.
Yeah. My heart is full. Okay.
So, then we go to episode 2.
Yes.
That one's called A River of Snakes, I believe.
Yep, and that is literally exactly what the episode is.
This one is more of like your bonding episode.
Yeah, so it starts with them like kind of at odds because they're trying to kind of learn to live with each other. Fang is eating all the food, and Spear is like, why can't I have some of it? Like, I need to eat too.
Yeah, like, I mean, she's a T-Rex, so she doesn't really know, like, I mean, sort yourself out, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm an animal, I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat this food that is here, even if you killed it first.
Right, like, she barely cares about him. She's just like, you're another nuisance that I kind of have to live with now because of what happened to us.
I mean, I chose to be with you, but I'm being a total bitch to you right now. That bothered me, but I was like, I mean, she's an animal, she doesn't know, I guess. But she did follow him and ask to be with him in a way, you know?
Right.
So I was like, come on, man.
So they kind of learn to live with each other. They have an experience together where they fall in... How does it happen again? So they are just like swimming in the river, or they fall into it?
So they actually fight each other because Spear finally takes a stand and he's like, get off my fucking food.
Oh, yeah, that's
like,
right.
Shit, back up. And Fang kicks his ass. I mean, she's a big T-Rex and he's just a dude.
Yeah.
She kicks his ass, and then rain starts, and it's essentially like a mudslide, kind of.
Yes.
So I think just this, like, there's such this rainfall, and it causes, like, a tidal wave to kind of, like, wash them over. But it washed over this, like, den of snakes as well, so now they're in the water with all these snakes. And it's funny, because I didn't pick up on it the first time I watched it, but on the second go-through, you see it more, because I know where it's going to go. But in this episode, Fang develops a fear of snakes.
Yes, she does.
Which comes up to a funny part later. But, so, they, like, fight the snakes together. They wash over a waterfall in this, like, river they get washed into. And Fang's just kind of like, I mean, you didn't let me die. And those snakes are pretty scary, so let's be friends.
Yeah, so she's, like, thankful to him. And now it sets it up for episode 3, wherein we find them, like, trying to hunt more together and coexist more.
Okay. So, I was waiting for Taylor to watch this one.
Oh my god, I was gonna ask how she took it.
She wasn't digging it.
So, for context, Taylor's very favorite animals. Elephant.
Elephants. We have elephants everywhere in this house. Okay? Literally everywhere. I can turn around right now. Elephant. I see them. Like, they're everywhere.
She's got a tattoo of an elephant.
Yes. And so this one opens with a group of mammoths walking through a blizzard. And, you know, they're marching strong. They're in a herd. But there's one that's old that can't quite keep up. Yeah. And he gets left behind in the blizzard, which was really sad.
It was very upsetting because he's, like, calling out to his tribe. He's like, please, I need help, like, trumpeting. And they just keep walking. They keep moving. And he's eventually left behind in the blizzard. So we see him just standing alone in the blizzard. And then suddenly from the shadows, Fang and Spear are upon him. And it is the most brutal.
So, it is primal.
It is primal.
This show does not it doesn't, like, desensitize violence by making it look like real quick, but it doesn't linger on it like, ooh, here's gore. You know? They go, it would be hard to take down a mammoth, so they're gonna have to work to kill it.
Yes.
And it's a lot of work.
It is, because the mammoth is a big dude. Even though he's old, he's strong. And it's just like a man, and we say T-Rex, but she's pretty small. Like, she's probably mammoth-sized.
So, I looked it up. She is officially a T-Rex, but they were like, well, there's multiple species of T-Rex, and she's just a smaller version, I guess.
Yeah, so she's like a little runty girl.
Yeah.
But they take down this mammoth. It's really upsetting. There's a moment where he's, like, beating the mammoth's eye in with a rock.
Yeah.
And he stops and, like, sees his own reflection in the eye of the mammoth. And it's so visceral and upsetting. And he has this flashback to when he was teaching his son to hunt for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
And he sees, like, he and his son are, like, dressed in deer pelts, and they go take down this, this big deer dude, and it's basically just him showing his son, like, we have to appreciate the animals because after they kill it, the animal's laying on the ground is still got, like, the fear in its eyes, and you can see Spear's reflection in the eye and his son's reflection in the eye, and they each put their hand on the deer's face to, like, comfort it as it dies, because it's all part of the cycle of life.
I'm gonna roundabout that right back to Avatar. So in Avatar, every time they kill something, they always say, I see you to it, right? Like, I appreciate you, I see what you are, I don't mean anything bad, right? And I was picking up on that vibe. And then it also reminded me of the beginning of the new God of War. So Kratos, like, takes his son out to go hunting, and they kill this deer, and when, like, the son shoots the deer, it falls over, and it's still alive, and he goes, all right, you need to finish what you started. Like, you put it in this state, now you have to finish it.
Right.
And the son has a hard time doing it, so Kratos has to, like, help him with the final part,
Yeah.
So I was just thinking of this whole, like, dad passing on what he's learning, but, it's all part of this thing. They're not doing it out of anything bad. Like, it's just part of that world and that nature,
Yeah. And you get to see the emotion in the caveman's face. You can tell that it doesn't bring him joy to kill. It's just something that he has to do in order to survive.
Yeah, and I love that the first thing he does, because, I mean, they go straight into, like, why did I even kill this thing? Immediately. Yeah. It's a fucking blizzard, and this dude is wearing a loincloth alone.
Yes, and that's it.
And the first thing he does is rip off some pelt to make a big-ass coat, and he's like, fuck yes, I'm so warm.
Yes.
And that killed me. He makes a little jacket for the dinosaur.
He does.
And the dinosaur bucks that shit off like, I don't need that shit.
She's like, I'm a dinosaur.
Get it off me.
I got this.
And I was like, whatever, man. He's trying to be nice to you.
I know. So, yeah, they take what they can off the mammoth. They, like, strip it clean, pretty much, and gather all the meat onto a sleigh that they make out of the mammoth's bones. And then they drag that off into a cave. They're awakened later on in the cave by, like, a stampeding sound of tons of woolly mammoths beating down their cave because they have found where they tracked the sled essentially to where these two were resting.
So they found their, like, elder or whatever dead.
Yeah, which I was upset this part because he was calling out to his tribe in the storm, and they didn't fucking bother to turn around.
Well, so at the same time, though, could they just have not heard him? I mean, it was a blizzard, and he got pretty far behind.
I guess. I was so sad for the mammoth at that point because, like, he died so alone, feeling like nobody cared about him, and then now in death, everyone's like, oh no, we didn't want you to die, and he doesn't know that. Should have been there for him.
So they track them down to their little cave.
The show is so heavy.
I know. Like,
it's got it deals with a lot of things.
So, honestly, this is the one that I think about the most. I thought about this one for days after I first saw it.
It's a really striking episode. I kind of wish that I had spaced it out a little more so I didn't shotgun the whole thing.
So, they chase them down to their cave, and they're attacking where they're at, and Fang and Spear come out, and they're like, oh, fuck, we're under attack. So they start fighting all the mammoths, and these two get Fang in a pretty bad situation. They, like, kind of run into her and are, like, squishing the life out of her.
Yeah, and you can hear it. It's horrible. The voice acting for having no words, like, no discernible dialogue, the voice acting is so good.
Yeah, dude.
There's so much emotion in it, just like in the grunts that Spear does, and in, like, the screaming that Fang does. You can really hear what they're trying to convey.
So Fang is being squished, and you can see her going, like, more limp, and just, like... So when she's screaming, her tongue is, like, lolled out.
Yes.
Because, like, she just is struggling to breathe, and I was like, oh my god! Save her! And Spear goes back for the only weapon that he can find, and it is this tusk that they were using to pull the sled with, of all the meat and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he's swinging it at him, and he's going all crazy, trying to act like he's tough. And the, like, lead mammoth sees the tusk and just kind of stares at him with, like, these big wide eyes, like, oh my god. And so Spear looks into his eyes, and he looks down at the tusk, and he realizes, like, what he's done and what the situation is, and he offers the tusk back to that mammoth. The mammoth takes it, and they just leave.
Herd wanders off.
They just leave.
They go to the elephant graveyard, and they lay the tusk down, and they have a little elephant ceremony for their dead.
So, when I watched it the second time, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they find the body, he's, like, petting his face, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets down to where the tusk would be, and when it's missing, that's when his eyes go all crazy, and they decide to follow the trail. Like, the whole time, they were gonna do a funeral, but they didn't have the proper piece. So they just went to find it. They weren't even mad. They just realized, oh, well, life has happened to this guy. But he is one of ours, and we have to bury him and honor him still. And that shit hit me, man. The shit hit me.
I wonder if there's something specifically biological about the tusk, because I didn't even think about that. I wonder if that's like an identifying feature for elephants.
Because the elephant graveyard they go to, there's like full skeletons in some of them.
Yeah, it's totally full of bones, so you don't...
But I guess that would be the easiest one to get to?
I don't know, I just kind of wondered, like, why didn't they just have the funeral for the obvious corpse that they found?
Well, I think they have, like, a central place, because there were a ton of elephant bones there.
Yeah.
So I think that is, like, their memorial site. And they're like, well, we have to get something of his here to honor him.
The elephant graveyard is a trope in a lot of things. Like, the Lion King, of course, comes to mind. Is that a thing that elephants do? Do they have real elephant graveyards?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that might be a thing.
I'm going to look it up real quick just because I'm curious now. Elephant graveyard.
Because, they never forget. They never forget to love.
Okay, so an elephant's graveyard is a mythical place where, according to legend, older elephants instinctively direct themselves when they reach a certain age. They would then die there alone, far from the group. That is depressing.
Okay. That is really sad. But so, that one hit me really hard, that it was strictly so that they could go through their mourning process. Yeah. Nothing malicious. They just happened to have taken the thing that they needed. You know? And then they leave, and Fang's just like, what the fuck? You were squishing the life out of me, and now you just leave? And then that was it for episode 3.
Yeah.
And then we get to episode 4.
The craziest
The most metal episode of all time.
So bizarre.
That shit opens with Spear riding Fang being chased by like a sea of velociraptors.
Tiny little red velociraptors. Just so many of them.
And they are jumping at him, and he's like stabbing them in the face or slitting stuff off of them, and Fang's just biting them in half and shit. It's dope.
It's wild. So they're like sprinting, and then Spear's like, oh my god, head for the cornfield, or whatever, what that is. And then so Fang ducks down, and they run into the corn and kind of disappear. Until...
And they come out on the other side, and they're surrounded. They, like, block them off, but, like, the sun's going down, and all the velociraptors freak out, and they're like, ah, and they just leave. So Spear and Fang are like, okay, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here before they start some shit. And they take off. And so as they ride off, they come across... Did you ever see The Time Machine?
Is it a movie?
Yes.
I did not.
So, like, the guy goes, like, way forward into the future, and there's, like, a group of people that live underground.
Okay.
I can't remember what they're called. They're called, like, Morlocks, I think. So they come across this, like, tribe of sort of ape men. They're not quite as advanced as Spear.
Yeah.
But they live, like, underground because they're all, like, albino. They're all white. They don't really come up at all. And there's one that has, like, meat. And he's trying to get back to this rock where they all live. and he trips and breaks his leg.
It's horrific. It's so gross.
Which is the thing, though. He trips and falls, but yet his leg goes like 180 degrees. It totally just like bends in half.
Completely wild. I was like, why did that happen?
So he falls, and he's crying out to the other apes. And I watched a thing on it, and I was like, I totally agree. He's not even crying out for them to help him. He's crying out for somebody to get the meat, because all of them are super skinny.
Yeah.
So he's just saying, let me die, but somebody come get the meat and save everybody else.
That's poignant.
Like, what is going on? And one guy comes out to get the meat, right? He's running with the goofiest run I've ever seen. This dude is just like slapping the ground all weird. And it is immediately just picked off the ground by something that we can't see. This thing swoops down and just takes this guy. And so Spear goes, I'm going to help this guy. So he runs out there, grabs the guy and the meat, gets him to safety, and they all just like take the meat, disappear. They're fucking gone. And Spear's like, what the fuck is going on? And he turns around, and it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. It's this giant man bat thing that is completely blood red.
It is like there's a huge blood moon risen in the sky, and these horrific, like, demon-horned, winged, bat-faced, man-body creatures, totally naked, are just, like, flying through the air. It looks like the cover art to the best metal album you've ever heard.
It really does. And so they kidnap Spear and take him off, and they can't pick up Fang because she weighs too much and she won't sit still for him, so they just leave her there and fucking take off with the caveman. And this part kind of got me. The fact that she chases them for so long and is running alone in this giant, like Salt Lake City desert thing.
Yeah.
You know? Like, there's nothing. And just her just running through this desert.
And then she reaches that wall.
So there's like a giant tower. And the bat thing takes Spear into the top of the tower. And Fang tries to climb it for a long time. Realizes she can't do it.
It is the longest. So it's like that. You ever watch Ninja Warrior?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it reminded me so much of the warped wall.
Of the wall at the end?
Yes. She like took a run at it and like tried to climb it and couldn't do it. And then took another run and tried to climb it and couldn't do it. She must have done it like 15 times.
But it was like if the timer for that was like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Just keep trying this wall for as long as you can.
Over and over and over until you are bloodied and cannot anymore.
And then comes one of the reasons that Fang is one of my favorite characters in anything I've ever seen. This wild dinosaur looks up to the sky, realizing that bats are taking food in there, and pretends to die.
She plays dead so good. What
she
a good
screams
little girl.
just and dies.
So
I'm so dead.
I think even her tongue comes out. She's just like, ugh.
Yeah, she just bleh. And lets these two bats pick her up.
They come down, they're like, I guess she's dead.
Yeah, and they're having a hard time picking her up, too.
Yeah,
and she's just like
flapping and like, oh my god,
hanging
it's so
there.
difficult.
And so this is one of the more confusing parts of this episode.
Yeah.
So she gets dropped in there, and she's trying to find him, and comes across a gigantic spider.
Enormous. Like, she is maybe the size of half of the spider's head.
Maybe.
Like the biggest spider.
And so these are bats, and this thing is like a spider queen of some sort.
Yeah.
What do bats and spiders have in common?
I just don't know. I think she must be some kind of like blood moon queen, and they're like doing her bidding or something.
I don't know. I've watched a whole bunch of stuff that's like, why? Why is this bat's leader a giant spider?
Yeah, I mean, bats eat spiders for the most part.
But so the spider's kicking Fang's ass, and Fang like smells Spear in this one web pod. Rips it open. I got
really worried for Fang at this point. I was like, she's gonna die for real.
Yeah, dude.
She gets her butt handed to her.
And Spear rips out of the thing. He rips out of the web, and they work together, kill the spider.
they kill it so good. So the way that they do it, there's like old dinosaur skulls and bones in there. Spear is looking around because he's like, oh, I have to help Fang because Fang is like on the edge of death over there. And so he looks around, he sees this Triceratops skull, and he's like, that's gonna do it. And so he like gets his favorite weapon, surprisingly not his spear, a rock, and beats the shit
For real,
out
he
of
does use a rock a lot.
Yeah, a whole lot. So he beats this skull into pieces and grabs one of the horns, and then just like rams it straight through that spider, just like
right through the face, just
right through its face, just directly through it. It was so satisfying. Kills it instantly.
And then they're like, yeah, we did it. So they go to the cave entrance and go, oh, guess what? We're like 100 stories high.
Yeah, you gonna get
What
down.
are we gonna do? And so I got to know if that's a real thing that you could potentially do.
You know, I was wondering that as it happened. So the way that they decide to get down is they go back and Spear's like, I got this. I'll figure it out. And then he goes and grabs the spider's fucking
like
web.
Spinneret stuff.
Yeah, like the Spidey stuff that comes out of her, and ties it around Fang and just chucks her off the cliff. And,
but like he starts just like pulling this out of the Spinneret, just like
like
ripping
clown
out
handkerchiefs.
Web. Yeah, and I'm like, does it work that way?
I feel like the spider has to consciously make the web because they're not just like spools of thread inside, right?
That's what I'm thinking because when they do it, he like reaches the end of the spool, like like there's no more give to this rope. And I was like, okay. But I mean, we're talking about a dude with a T-Rex fighting giant bats and a giant spider. Like,
I'll suspend my disbelief for a minute.
I can overlook this spider science, you know. Yeah. So yeah, he ties it around him, and they like rappel down this cliff face.
Yep. And then, is that for that episode? I think that's pretty much
the
end.
And then they head... So, all the bats come back, see that their spider queen is dead.
Right.
And rush out for revenge. They're running back, and Spear had lost his spear with the albino monkey people.
Yes.
And when the bats are chasing him, this one found it, and he's been waiting for Spear to come back. So he signals him. He's like, I have your spear! He just kind of like grunts at him. And, like, gets him his spear back, goes back to hiding. Spear and Fang are just running, and all these bats are chasing him. And Spear has the best idea. He goes, hey, go back to the cornfield.
So they duck down, they head back to that cornfield, and they duck real low, and they're hiding. And then suddenly, the bats descend, and what do they find there in the corn?
All the velociraptors waiting for them to come back.
You guys forgot about the velociraptors, didn't you?
And they fucking just start eating the shit out of each other.
They wreck each other. It is the craziest little battle. Oh.
And then they just kind of slip out the side, take off towards the sunset, and boom, episode over. It was the best. I love that one.
It was a good episode.
It's really good.
It was a nice little departure from what I think the rest of the series was. It was much more fantastical, kind of.
Yeah, the rest is very feeling and all that, like getting this like emotion across, and this one was just like action movie, sit back and enjoy.
Yes.
You know? It was a good break to the pace because they're all like, yeah, we're gonna hit you with the last one.
Yeah, so the last episode... Oh, hold on. I have a note for you on the 4th episode. So...
Okay.
I was sitting there stunned at the end of it, just letting the credits roll. And whose name do I see in the credits but Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob?
I'm thinking he must have been the monkey people.
He was!
Okay.
I was like, what? That's a nice little thing for him, I guess. Perfect role.
I mean, he does so much stuff.
Yeah.
He is all over.
He's a man of many faces.
It's funny, I don't think I've seen that, because I'm usually just like, my eyes just go like blank with awe from how good that show was. I'm just like, oh.
I know.
And I miss all the credits.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I was. And I was just like, wait a minute, Tom Kenny. Yeah.
So then we get to the last one.
Episode 5, where everything is beautiful and great and all the pain is over. And they
sure is.
Hang out in this beautiful oasis. So the episode starts with them in this... they're just kind of like, they arrive in this oasis.
So they basically get to the Great Valley.
Yes, it is the promised land. It's gorgeous. There's a slow little stream. There's a nice little beach. There's butterflies going around.
It is so peaceful there that so as we remember, the first episode, Spear is fishing, right? And he's using his spear to stab him with.
Yeah, that's
he goes
where we
to
first
fish. Yeah, he goes to fish here, and this place is so serene and calm. The fish aren't scared of him because they've never had anything to be scared of, that he can literally just pick them up with his hands.
Yeah, he's about to like stab him with the spear, and then he looks into it and he's like, why am I doing this? He says,
they have
the
had
spear.
that little trouble in this place. Like, it's that safe here.
Just gently picks up these fish, and they have a little beach picnic. Yeah. And he puts his little hand in the sand and just kind of admires it. And then Fang comes along and is like, I can do that too. And puts
that was cute, man.
He puts her little paw print in the sand.
And then she makes a paw print like his, and she's like, man, mine is way bigger.
They just kind of relax and chill. And I would have spent the rest of my life in this little oasis with them.
Like, it's just so great, dude.
He's like floating on his back in the pool, and it's just, they have a minute to breathe, you know? We needed that as the audience as well.
And you get to see them like have fun with each other for like the first time. Because when they do the paw prints, a worm comes out of the sand.
Yes.
And it triggers PTSD for Fang about
Poor
the snakes.
Fang.
And she takes off running so far away. And Spear's like, what? It's a worm. So he picks it up. And Fang just shakes her head like, no, so scary.
She's looking like a dog who just like saw the vacuum get pulled out.
And then he eats the worm like, dude, come on. Like, I ate it. It's fine. And she's like, I'm not coming back. And just takes a nap on a rock.
Yep. So
then he's floating. And he goes for a little swim. And he's diving deep in this pool. And then he's like, ooh, I'm going to scare her again.
I'm going to prank her.
Because she's asleep on the rock. I'm gonna swim up all quiet and jump out at her, right?
Yes.
And as he's getting close, you see these shadows just like go by real quick. And he's like, what the hell was that? So he climbs up on the rock, and Fang is gone. Nowhere to be seen.
Perfect oasis, no longer perfect.
There's definitely something wrong here. But he's just like, I gotta find her. So he's screaming for her, and then, blah, catch a rock to the back of the head.
Vision goes black.
And then he kind of wakes up a little bit and sees this, like, weird monkey person. Very unlike the ones we saw in the last one that were real, like, thin and weak. These are big, strong ones, you know? And they hit him again, and he goes out. So then we wake up in this, like, Coliseum arena type place.
And it is full of really big, strong monkey people.
So there's, like, the normal monkeys in, like, the stands, and then there's, like, these gorilla-style, like, silverback gorillas in the middle. And there's, like, this tournament that they're gonna have. And the last one standing gets to move on to whatever the next phase will be. So you just watch these big silverback gorillas kicking each other's asses.
Beating the shit out of each other.
Viciously.
Gratuitous violence.
But it is controlled, because the one that's in charge is, like, in this, like, garb with this stick.
Yeah, he's got, like, a cheetah robe.
Like, when he says, like, that one's had enough, he'll, like, tap the stick, and they immediately stop beating the one that they're on, and they move on. So, like, they're not even just, like, mindlessly killing them. There's, like, a process to this.
Yep.
And all of this is without dialogue, so you have to infer what the process is.
And it's not even difficult to infer. Like, this show, for having no dialogue, it is extremely clear in its message.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful in that way.
So, all the monkeys fight, and then there's one left. One sole monkey left, and he goes to the bottom of this, like, little slide, kind of. And the one at the top has this bowl full of this black, like, almost tar liquid stuff.
Yeah, this big saucer. He's, like, got his arms out. He's got the giant saucer in it. And he bends down and, like, tips the saucer just enough to where a little bitty drop of this tar comes down.
A drop. One singular drop.
A tiny drop comes down this slide. and goes all the way down, picking up all this dirt, I'm sure.
Oh my god.
And then gets down to the gorilla's mouth, and the gorilla's like, gulp, and it's basically like Popeye spinach, and he becomes huge and strong and roids out.
Hulks out. Big time.
Big time. And then you see Fang on the wall, like
tied up
in ropes, like a piñata, poor baby. So they come over and they like cut her down and let her loose into the arena, and now Fang has to fight the gorilla man.
Hulk gorilla.
And you're thinking, we've seen Fang destroy an enormous spider, and well,
yeah,
she's survived a lot, so this should be no problem for her. So she's fighting the gorilla, and it's not going great. She's getting her leg kicked in. She's getting her face knocked up.
Like, she can almost not land a shot on this guy. No matter what she does, he is just running circles around her, kicking her ass.
And at one point during the fight, she goes to do this big power roar, like, rah! Like, it's her classic battle cry that she's been doing. And she tries, and it's just like a squeak, and blood comes out instead of a roar.
Yeah. And
she kind of, like, falters and falls down. And Spear, at this point, on the wall is also tied up.
Freaking out.
He's freaking out. He's trying to figure out, I need to get off of this. I need to go help my baby, my friend, my pal. And so he's, like, biting through his vines. He gets down, and some of the monkey council are like, oh, we gotta stop that. And so he, like, kicks him apart and gets up to the top of the big pedestal thing.
Like, leader guy.
Yes.
Which is probably one of my favorite parts. Because
yes.
he straight up picks that guy up and just throws him off the pedestal.
Chucks him down
these stories, and he just lands, and they're like, oh shit!
So it's very unceremonious. It's just this, like, plop. He's dead.
Yeah. So the monkeys just see that, and we don't know what's going on up there either. They crest the top of the thing, and what do they find?
He is tipping this big saucer of that black tar power juice, just chugging that shit. He has chugged the whole saucer, and they're like, oh no, the whole thing.
So other dude hulked out. I don't even know what you call this.
It was more than a transformation. Like, he becomes this whole new primal creature.
Yeah.
He loses his shit. He jumps down and is going to rescue his friend. He kicks apart these gorillas like it ain't no thing. So,
I was living for this part.
Yes.
I was cheering in my seat.
Holy shit.
So the Hulk gorilla, he literally grabs him by both his arms, rips them off, and then beats him to death with his own arms. And then proceeds to punch these other monkeys so hard that the skin flies off their skeletons.
He's basically playing Monkey Corpse Fruit Ninja, just like...
Oh, that is the best analogy for that ever.
It's just, if we had thought anything before,
massacring these people.
Yeah, this is the most gratuitous amount of violence you're going to find in the show. So, like, he will punch them, their guts will fly out of their face. Like, he punches one dude's skull in half. It's a lot.
It was so awesome, though.
By the time he's done, he's ripped apart everything. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I beat everything. And then he goes, and he's like, okay, time to find Fang. And he turns around, and he sees her.
So, like, he basically kills them throughout the night.
Yes, it takes a long time.
The next morning, he has, like, de-hulked, and he's just covered in blood.
Head to
Literally
toe.
head to toe.
Fully
surrounded by guts.
Hundreds of corpses.
Monkey brains. Just everybody is dead. And so he's normal, and he's like, oh yeah, I was trying to save my dino pet.
Right.
So let's go over there. And then what happened?
So he walks up to her, and he kind of nudges her a little bit and is like, okay, it's time to get up and go. She's still laying on the ground where we last saw her when she fell. And he can't wake her up. And he pushes her face real hard, and he can't wake her up.
That part got me. Like,
and I was holding back my tears.
Like,
so
you
hard
feel the desperation when he, like, shoves her again, like, so hard. Like, hey. Like, I'm not playing this time. Like, I tried to wake you up nice, but, like, you're scaring me. and he like frantically is pushing her face, and she just lolls there and rolls around, and it ends with him putting his hand by her eye, and it fades to black, and that's all we have.
And that's the show. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Now you know that's half of season 1, right?
What? There's gonna be more?
Yeah.
What? Oh my god, I didn't even know.
No, that's not the end of the show.
Oh my god.
That's just all that's out.
Oh my god. What?
Yeah, so there will be 5 more in 2020.
I'm not gonna be able to handle it. God, it's like you just like stab my heart with a needle of adrenaline. I'm so excited.
Oh my god.
I had no idea there was gonna be more. I thought that was it. I thought it was a concise little like birth to death run there.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, if Fang's truly dead, like, I will be done with the show. Like,
oh my god, no doubt. I thought she was like dead and gone for good.
No, so she doesn't wake up. We don't know where it's gonna go.
I really
but there will be more.
She doesn't look good.
Nah, she's mangled, so he might be having to take care of her for a while.
I will watch 5 episodes of him just nursing her back to health. I'll watch that.
He's like, you have to eat a worm every day. Get over the snake fear.
The show is so good. I cannot recommend it enough. Like, I did not expect it to affect me in this way.
Like, it is a show about a caveman and a dinosaur. And it hits some, I think the best word you said was poignant messages. Like this is stuff to make you think.
Yeah,
these
it
are
makes you feel.
Human elements in a time where humanity was not that advanced. There wasn't this sense of right and wrong like that. But here's a guy kind of teaching this dinosaur to feel that way.
Yeah.
You know? It's fucking beautiful. It's great.
It's beautiful. It's heavy. Watch it with a friend. Hold them close.
I am so glad that you liked it.
Yeah, I loved it, man.
Okay.
Thank you for that recommendation.
That is one that I would take to the bank as being one of the best things I've ever seen. Usually my taste, I can kind of be like, all right, I know that it's like more geared towards me. I don't think people would like it. But this is one that I'm like, no, everyone would like it.
Yeah, honestly, I think
people need to just push past the fact that there's no talking.
Yeah, it can appeal to an audience of anyone. I wouldn't recommend it for children, maybe just because
definitely not.
Yeah, like a mature audience maybe, but it's got something that is just kind of what am I trying to say?
There's this truth in it.
Yes, there is. It's a universal truth that I think can be appreciated by anyone who watches it.
Yeah. It is for real one of my favorite things that I've ever come across. It is one of like my deepest fandoms right now. I will be all about this when it comes out. I will push this on anyone that I can. I think it is so great and needs to be pumped out more to like the masses.
You should legit get a Spear and Fang tattoo.
I really want one, kind of.
It's such a good image, just him like on her back, pointing, got that spear. It's gorgeous.
Like that wave hitting in the back is just the coolest thing ever. And so at the end of every episode, there's their little like Cartoon Network like doo thing, you know?
Yeah.
And they show the scene when he like rides her for the first time, and it hypes me up every time I see it. I'm just like, that is so awesome. Like, I would truly love to find somebody that could get a good drawing of that, and I would totally think about getting a tattoo of that.
Okay.
Because I can't see myself ever not loving this. It's just so awesome.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's such the simplest concept. Like, let's get a caveman and a T-Rex together. And then took it in this whole, like, feeling aspect. It has nothing to really do with them.
Yeah.
It's just this life. It's just... I just don't even know.
See how much you love it?
I truly love it. It's so cool. Fang is one of my favorite dinosaurs I've ever seen in my life. I love her.
I hope she comes back. I want to die if she doesn't.
So, speaking of big days, Well, two more things for you guys because today's such a big day.
We got a lot.
I want to go ahead and briefly comment on the fact that Sonic got a new trailer today.
Oh my god. Are you sure you want to make this brief? Because, like, we have...
Oh, I'll make it brief. I straight up wanted to throw down with Kelsey about that first trailer.
If you guys remember, I was into the first trailer.
Not even in the fact of how he looked. I just thought the movie looked awful.
Yeah. I
thought the tone was bad. I was like, they are promoting it like it's funny, but it doesn't seem funny. None of what they're trying to get me to feel am I feeling.
Yeah. So it got an overhaul based on all the fan feedback, which was much in the vein of Robert, where, you know, the movie didn't fit the overall tone. And also Sonic looks like a demon.
A hedgehog human abomination. Like, I don't know what
like a human had sex with a hedgehog and then created a regret. I don't know.
Yeah. But
so
they went like Detective Pikachu with this thing. They took the idea that we know and just made it look like it could exist in the real world.
Yeah, they didn't try to make
That's
Sonic
all they did.
Have human teeth or a human tongue. They didn't try to make him have a realistic nose. They didn't try to separate his eyes. Like, his eyes used to be one eye apart. Like, there was enough room in the center for a whole other Sonic eye.
Yeah.
Which, if you look at the actual character of Sonic, he pretty much just has the one eye, or it's goggles or something.
Yeah. Now, in the new design, he does have two separate eyes.
He does. But they're close enough together to where they look nicely.
They're close enough together, and there's the fur right above his nose is white, so it looks like it kind of connects in the old, you know?
Yeah.
But he does have two eyes, which is normal, and that's fine.
And he's got eyebrows. Look at him.
I know. He is emoting the ways that the lions could not in The Lion King.
His face shape is so much more, like, expressive, and you're able to, like, connect with it, you know? Like, I feel like I would adopt this puppy. If I had
furry things in movies need eyebrows, period.
They really do. Just give them eyebrows, guys. That's all they want.
You had me watch this before we recorded, and I am 10,000% behind it.
Yes, me too.
They picked the song choice that fits the, like, style they were going for this time.
Yeah, I really don't know why they went with Gangsta's Paradise. Like, I love that song, and I think I like the trailer just because I love that song.
But, okay, you don't play Gangsta's Paradise when you're trying to, like, promote a comedy movie. It doesn't fit.
Yeah, it didn't fit.
It's two different moves.
This comedy movie.
No. But they picked an upbeat song this time. They were like, all right, we're having fun. Like, we're doing things. Like, you're into the music. It's a lot snappier of a trailer. Things are happening faster.
Yes.
And just, dude, the way he looks is everything I want. It's beautiful.
I'm so happy they fixed him.
But I will say, he looks much more cartoonish.
As he should.
Like, even, like, his finish. Because, like, while, granted, there are no, you know, bipedal hedgehogs in the world, right?
Yeah.
He looks much more real in the old one, but he has, like, this cartoonish gloss in the redesign.
Yeah, they gave him, like, a shimmer.
Yeah, it's not just that he looks more cartoony, like, in his proportions, but, like, his whole body just looks like a cartoon in this world, kind of.
Yeah, like, the lighting artists did work on this guy. It looks good.
I love him. I love it. I will see it day one.
Good.
I'm excited. And it's Valentine's Day, so sorry, but that's my Valentine's Day plans.
Yep.
Sonic.
God, he's so cute.
So please watch the trailer. Me and Kelsey are in 100% agreement. No bad feelings here.
We're in cohesion now.
No hands being thrown for this one. We're good.
I forgot how mad you were at me in the first trailer.
I really was. Like, I even said that I didn't like Jim Carrey in the trailer just because I felt like it didn't look good.
Yeah.
You know? It was because the way they cut the trailer, because it's almost the same scenes, but they sell it now, and it feels good.
Did you notice that Jim Carrey does that, like, Dr. Robotnik dance?
Yes.
It's so good. I'm so excited for it. We'll put the new trailer in the show notes.
Love it. And then it is also a big day. One of our previous guests, if you'll remember, Mary, from our Halloween bonus episode, she actually wrote a book. And it is being released today. And
it's not about witches.
It is not about witches. It's actually about science fiction.
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi novel.
It is, I mean, so I'm going to be real. I have read some of it because I was going to help her edit it when she was writing it.
Yeah.
And I did a very bad job of that.
Okay.
Because she was pumping out chapters, and I was like, dude, it took me like a year to read a Spider-Man comic. Like, I can't read this much book. And then the whole, like, having to go to England thing happened, and she took it all, like, into her own hands to do it, and she did a fantastic job, and I feel really bad that I couldn't keep to my part, but I have read some of it. It is like a whole science fiction world.
I'm so impressed with her. So this is the first in a series of 3, right? She's going to do a trilogy?
I don't know how many there will be, but she's excited that this is done because she's already working on the next one.
That's awesome. Man, that is a lot of work to self-publish a book.
So it is available on Amazon. You can get a Kindle version, or you can buy an actual paperback, but it is, alright, so it's more of a, like, buy and print it kind. There aren't any made until you buy one.
Oh, okay, so these are bespoke books.
Yeah, when you pay for a copy, they print you a copy. So it is not in any bookstore.
Okay.
It is on Amazon. It's a pretty lengthy book. It's 239 pages. That's a book, man.
It's called accretion, which not secretion.
No, it is accretion, which is a black hole term.
Isn't it a rock?
This book, I don't know.
Accretion's the name of a Sigma's rock ability in Overwatch, and he like pulls the rock up and chucks it at your face.
Oh my god.
That's
well, yeah,
that's how I know that
because
works.
he deals in black holes.
Oh, so
that is his whole thing.
What does accretion mean?
So accretion in astrophysics, it is the accumulation of particles into a massive object by gravitationally attracting more matter.
Oh, okay, so it's gravity rock.
Yeah, so it is about. So her book is actually about a black hole.
Sweet. I love the cover art. It's gorgeous.
And I'll go ahead and give you guys, like, a little bit of how it goes, because I thought this was a cool concept. So the opening of the book is basically an intro. So each chapter is an introduction to each new character.
Okay.
But at the end of each chapter, it rewinds itself, and you see the same events happening from this new character's perspective.
Ooh, I love shit like that.
So I remember her doing some stuff, and she was like, do you know how hard it is to remember if there's two people in the same conversation, the conversation happens word for word the same in both chapters.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be different because it's the same conversation, you know?
She's got to have, like, a timeline, one of those boards with just, like, pictures and string and thumbtacks.
But so the opening, like, not half maybe, but, like, the good opening portion is meeting all these characters, but getting to see similar... So, like, the same event, maybe this person wasn't in this part, so you see a different event that happened while this conversation was happening, right?
Okay.
But you get to see the same thing happen from each person's perspective and what they thought of it all coming to a head to what goes on later.
Nice.
So, I thought that was a cool way to introduce your book.
Yeah,
you know?
I like that.
But it is called Accretion. Mary will get mad at me, but I'm gonna... Oh, it does say it's part of the... Caliginous trilogy. This is book 1.
I have to see this. Caligulous.
Mary knows big words, and it hurts me sometimes. I'm like, oh, those words. Such words. So much research was put into the true science behind everything that's in this. Like, she didn't just write anything. She, like the way a black hole affects stuff, if they're, interacting with it, true science type stuff would happen to them. Like, she did a lot of research into the real aspect, but then created all these worlds, all these different races, all this stuff. There's a whole bunch in it.
Look at Mary go. Writing books, casting spells, researching science.
It's impressive.
A woman of
very
many talents.
Impressive.
Good on you, Mary.
Please check it out. If you like science fiction, I have a feeling you'll really like this one. It's got some cool stuff.
Hell yeah.
Like, really cool stuff. We will link it in the show notes. If you would like to buy a physical book, like I said, that's on there too. It will be printed and shipped straight to you. Come check it out, guys.
All right, let's accrete this episode into the sky.
Into the sky.
I don't know what it is. I still don't know what accretion is.
It's gravity, man.
Let's ride that gravity train to the end.
Please tell your friends about us. Help us grow this audience.
Oh, help us accrete this audience.
Yeah, help us, let's just gravitate everyone into us. Come on. Just like give them that one little finger. Come this way. Don't forget to subscribe to us on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. We release weekly every Monday. To date, no Mondays missed. We're solid. We're always there. If you have a second, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. I always ask for like a little blurb, but 5 stars, that's good enough.
Yes, you can find us and friend us on social media. We are at YMBToAP on Twitter and Instagram. That stands for You Must Be Thinking of Another Podcast. Please be sure to like and follow our Facebook page. Look for us on YouTube. Come interact with us. Leave us some comments. We have 1 bot comment on YouTube, and we have very few comments on Facebook. I would love to see you guys.
That's true.
Come and chat. You can also email us at YMBToAP@gmail.com. We really want listener mail. If you watch Primal, tell us what you think about it. If you just listen to us talk about it,
please write to me on Primal, because I would love to talk to some people about it.
Yes. It'll change your life. It'll blow you away.
It really will. So, I was actually talking to somebody at work, and they were talking about a topic that they would like us to talk about. They want us to go deep.
What do they want us to go deep on?
Go deep. I won't tell you. Because I told them I won't do it unless you write an email. I'm not taking no word of mouth stuff.
All right.
You want me to go deep? Write an email.
You gotta put it in writing. Legally, we cannot go deep unless you put it in writing.
But I'll go ahead and tell you because it's made for you.
Oh, I want to know. What is it?
She wants us to go deep on space and aliens and life out there.
Oh, God. Okay. I can go real deep on that.
Because I was like, dude, we just talked about Ad Astra and it killed Kelsey due to this exact topic. Like,
I might float away if we talk about that.
So that's just some of the stuff that we would like to hear you guys talk about. Like, she was just saying it's something that I wonder about. And so she just wanted to hear other aspects of what somebody else thought about it.
Well, send that email, girl. We'll get on it.
If there's something that you have a question about, you're like, this is just something that I think about. What do other people think about it? Send it to us. Maybe we've never thought about it, and you'll get us to come up with a whole wild thing that no one's thought of before.
Maybe.
Wild stuff.
Wild stuff.
Our theme song is The Grim Reaper Blows the Horn by Faraj. Please check him out on YouTube while you're checking us out on YouTube. And as always, thanks for listening, and tune in next time to get the answer to that burning question. Is Fang gonna be okay?
God, she better. I can't.
But we had one more important sound we wanted you to hear.
I was going to make some coffee. To talk coffee. I mean, when we talk coffee, you'll find out why.
It's like 7 o'clock at night. You can't have coffee right now.
Staying awake would not be the problem.
Night poops?
Maybe. I don't know.
Poops.
I just don't want coffee. Like, that's a morning drink. Night poops. Talking about the night poops. Talking about those late night can't sleep poops. Talking about the night poops. In the sleepy time.
God. Okay.